Good morning, year two, and welcome to this week's literacy. It's Monday. I hope you all had a lovely weekend and you're ready to start this week. I'm going to be here for literacy all week, which is exciting, and I'm in school somewhere, but I'm not in my usual Fox's classroom. I wonder if by the end of today you will be able to work out where I am. Now, I'm going to get started, so all I need to do is share my screen. Hopefully it's going to work. Okay, we're on, hopefully. So today is the 25th and we're going to get started, and we're going to be writing a list in today's session. So I wonder if you've done that before. Now then. So how do brilliant writers write a list is our question, and we've got a few bits and bobs that we're going to be getting on with today. So the first one is our new spelling rule that I'm going to teach you, which is where the S sound is spelled as a C. It's spelled as a curly K before a few special letters. That's our new spelling rule. Then we're going to have a look at how we use those conjunctions and those contractions, and we're going to look at a list, and then we're going to think about our own new character to write a list about, and I'm going to give you more on that later. So these are the things you're going to need today. Definitely that brain turned on, please. And you're going to need your pencil. You're going to need, hopefully you've got your yellow book at home. If not, some lined paper would be amazing. And you're going to need that laminated whiteboard and pen. Okay, so this is our warm-up, the spelling rule. So the new spelling rule for this week is the S sound changes to a C when it's spelt, and it's only before these three letters. It's before an E, an I, or a Y. So if you have a look at my two words there, I've got ice and I've got race. Now, if I was going to sound it out, it would be a bit strange, because I'm going to sound out ice. It would be ice. Now, obviously, I can remember my new spelling rule, which means that that S isn't actually there. It is a curly cut. So I need to make sure that I've definitely remembered that one. So have a look at my words. Now, I wonder if you could pause your video now and think about if you know any words that have that alternative sound in. So remember, that is actually spelled as a curly K. It's a mystery. Remember, it's only before those three letters, an E, an I, or a Y. So give the video a pause now and have a think if you can think of any new words. I've given you three just to get you going. Okay, did you have a go? Did you think of any new words? I bet you had loads. So what we're going to do, okay, is we're going to use one of those words. So hopefully you made up your own. If you thought, oh, I don't know any, don't worry, because I've given you some. I've given you circus. I've given you bicycle. There's city. There's race. There's ice. And there's pencil. All of these have got that special sound in that S, which actually is a curly K. Very, very mysterious. So, but if we look at our words and we notice that actually, yes, that S sound is before one of those special letters. If I look at city, for example, it sounds like it should start with a S, but there's an I next to it, which means it can't be a S after all. It's got to be that C. So on your whiteboard, I love it if you could use one of these words now, or your own word that you hopefully have just made up because you really know this rule already, and try and pop one of them into a sentence for me. Okay, so think about everything we need to include in a sentence. Definitely full stops. Definitely start with a capital letter, please. Okay, anything else is a bonus. I wonder if you could get an adjective in there too. So have a go and pause me, and we'll come back in just a second. Okay, how did you get on with those sentences? I bet you've done a super job. I wonder if you could show one of your adults, and I bet they're going to say, big well done, because I know you've done a super job. So we're going to move away now from our spelling rule, and we're going to whip on with the first bit of the lesson, which is learning just again about those conjunctions and contractions. Now, last week you had lovely Mrs. Crab and she did a super job, and so did you. I've seen so much brilliant work all about those crayons, and we're going to think more about the crayons today, but ours is going to be slightly a little bit different. Okay, so let's talk about contractions first, and I've got that at the top of my screen. And it says contractions are used to join separate words to create a shorter one. And I've got two separate words here. I've got do. Oh, can you see my mouse? Hope you can. I've got do and I've got not. And when we have a word like that, we know, oh, that sounds a bit posh. If I say do not do that, I can make it a lot shorter. And the shorter version would be don't do that. And actually, that means it's much quicker for me to say, and it gets one of those posh apostrophes in there. And this is what an apostrophe looks like. It looks a bit like a comma, but this time it's flying in the air. So that's it there where my little mouse is. And we must remember to put those in for our contractions. Now, if I'm looking at my do and my not, something is missing. I wonder if you could work out what letter is missing. Oh, I think I've got it. Yes, I can see that that apostrophe is in the space of the O from not, which means do and not have been squeezed together and it makes don't. And the apostrophe is in the space of the letters that have been popped out. So that's my contractions, okay? We use lots of them, things like haven't and didn't and wasn't and couldn't or wouldn't. I wonder if you know any. Have a pause of the video and think about all the contracted words that you know. What contractions do you use every single day? I bet you use quite a few, but you don't realise. Have a pause, have a think. Great, I bet you've done a really good job. I wonder if you remember any of them to put in your writing for this week. Now, we're going to move on to conjunctions now. And I know that loads of you are super good at using these already. So conjunctions are used to join two sentences together, and they do it in different ways. So the most common one that we normally use all the time is and. And this is just a simple joiner, okay, and it joins those two sentences together really, really easily, okay. But this time, I know that I've got another few to look at. I've got or, and I've got but. And it's really important how I know how to use these two because these two are a bit trickier. So normally what I do is for or, I say that it's a bit of a choice, okay? I can do one thing or I can do another. And that's how I would use it in a sentence. Now, with the one that says but, that one, okay, is how we use it, okay, when we're looking at something where we're making a comparison, okay, we're comparing between two different things. Miss Booth loves to eat sweeties, but Miss Booth prefers to eat delicious chocolate. And I've compared between two things there. So that's how we're going to use those two. Now then, let's see what we've got in store for today. Now, today we're going to be writing a list. So it says, how do brilliant writers write a list? Now, this is back on to last week's work, the day the crayons quit. And you did a super job of being a crayon and thinking about what you were going to say to Duncan. And now today is a tiny bit different. So it says, an object in your house is going on strike, just like the crayons. They are fed up. We are going to write a list of reasons why they are upset. So this time we're not going to be a crayon. We're going to be a different thing from our house. We could be a pair of scissors. We might be a water bottle. We could be a tap. It's completely up to you. And the wilder they are, the better. Now I've done a little list here because we just need to really know the features of a list. So it says, make a list. List words to describe snowflakes. And underneath here, it's got all the words that describe snowflakes. But it's also got these special things here, and they're called bullet points, and we can use them or we can use numbers for each part of our list. Okay, now also my lists always need a title, and that's what this thing here is. Okay, list words to describe snowflakes. We know what the list is about. Now, list normally uses bullet points or numbers for each part. Yep, we've got that one in the bag now. So it's a nice, easy session today because all we're doing is making a list. So you're going to need a title, and then underneath, probably on each line of your book, I would do a new point. Okay, but we're going to have another go at that in just a second. So this one is my object from my house. I've chosen a glue stick, and I had to think of lots of reasons why my glue stick might be feeling a little bit sad. He might be feeling sad. He might be feeling angry. He might be feeling upset. He might just be feeling fed up. It's your choice, okay? Think about the crayons from last week and recap on how they were feeling and why they were feeling that way. Now, for my glue stick, I've said these things. I've said, I am furious with my family because ... So that would be my main starter. That would be my title. Okay, number one. People keep leaving the lid off of me and it drives me out. That happens in the foxes a lot. I go to use a glue stick and it's dry. Someone's forgot to put the lid on it. So that's a good one. Number two. I feel lonely sometimes because there are no other glue sticks in the house to talk to. That is a good one. Number three. Sometimes people roll me up too high and then squish the lid down on my head. I can imagine that's not fun. Number four. A person has tried to lick me before. Now that was scary. Number five. My family don't use me every day, so I wish they did more as I spend a long time tucked up in a drawer. Oh, that's true. I don't use a glue stick every day sometimes. They must get a bit lonely. Now, your job today is to go and have a look, have a little wander around now, and think about what object could go on strike. That means they don't want to do it anymore, by the way. They're going to say, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't fancy it. And they're going to give a list of reasons why they don't want to do that job anymore. So I want you guys now to go and have a little look around your house. Okay. If you're in school, have a think about what's in the classroom. And think about what things could go on strike and why. I've given you just a few examples on the screen just in case you're a little bit stuck, but I want you to pause me now and go and find an object. Now, don't go and get the first thing you see because you need to think of a lot of reasons why it would be unhappy. So don't just go and choose any old thing. Have a look around and think, okay, why would that object be unhappy? Put me on pause and I'll see you in a minute. Right, hopefully you've got an object. Okay, so in my red box at the top, it says talk through with an adult why it could be upset with your family. Now, because you're going to be writing this list to your family, but more on that later this week. So talk it through. Okay, give me some reasons, and you're going to draw it first. So everyone, doesn't matter what Chilli challenge you're doing today, everyone is going to draw their object into their books first. Okay. Now, if you are doing a Chilli challenge, you are going to write out "I am sad because" as your title, and you need to copy it just how I've done it on the screen. So I am sad because ... and then underneath you're going to do your 2 reasons. Okay, give me 2 reasons, please. Now the next one, 2 chilies. The something is upset because. So we've changed a few words now, and you need to write in what it is that you've chosen there. Okay, the something. So we can say the kettle is upset, the chair is upset, and you're given 3 reasons this time. Now, if you're feeling like you could definitely do this 3 chili challenge, and I know you all can, you have to try and get a conjunction in there too. So it says the something is something. So here you're going to tell me how they're feeling as well. So you could think of some brilliant words here. I use that word furious, which means really, really angry. But I wonder if any of you got a thesaurus, if you had a look, and you would find so many different words. So that one, you're telling me what the object is and how they're feeling. So that something is something because, and underneath you're going to write your reasons again. This time I'd like 5. And I'd like it if you could use a conjunction. Easy peasy. It says the title is in blue and will need to be copied down. So if there's a gap, you'll need to fill it. Okay. So, oh, I need to go back. Here we go. So pause me on this screen now and check what Chilli challenge you're doing. So remember, at the top in the blue is your title. You need to copy it in. If you're doing that 2 or 3 Chilli, you need to fill it in. Okay. And then you've given me reasons. Now remember, we need some bullet points or we need numbered reasons. That's completely up to you. And I cannot wait to hear why your objects are feeling sad or feeling angry. Remember, use that imagination. Why? How could these objects be feeling? Think back to last week. Why were the crayons so upset? And if you pause me now, then we've got to do one more bit and then we're all done. See you soon. Okay, how did everyone get on? So underneath, I've got some bubbles here to have a look at. My first one, this one is my bullet points. Now you could either use bullet points or you could have used numbers. So double check you've got those, please. If you haven't, pop them in now, that's okay. This one is capital letter, so we need to make sure we've got a capital letter to start each line. We're going to need a finger space between each of the words, please. And it's going to always need to end with a full stop. And then if you were feeling fancy and knowing that you could do that 3 Chilli challenge, then I asked you to try and get a conjunction in there too. Maybe you said, okay, you gave a reason and had an and in there, or you had a because in there. So this is what we're getting up to tomorrow. It says tomorrow we are planning our letter from our household object to your family. So this week we're going to be writing a letter from the glue stick or from whatever you've used, a book, a tap, things like that, and they're going to write it to your family to complain about why they're feeling like that, and they're going to go on strike. They're not going to do it anymore. Okay, so that's this week's literacy tip. Tomorrow is our planning day. So that's literacy done. Tick. That was easy. Now we haven't actually got a reading session, but there is all of these bits and bobs that you can go and do. Okay, so have a good look. If you want to go on YouTube and do a Reader Ink session, you are welcome to. Make sure you type in what you need. Okay, and also you should, fingers crossed, have had an email from your teacher to say about Oxford Owl. Which is where you can go on your laptop or your tablet and you can read books as though you're reading a real life book. Okay, so that's nice and exciting. You should all have a class login now. So you hopefully will be able to do that, which is very exciting. Okay, we're at the very end. I hope you have a lovely Monday and I'll see you tomorrow. See you later.